Picture 21 members of HOA board, matching polos yelling as if they'd seen a ghost crawling over a 7-foot cattle fence, as my guard dogs closed in their tidy tent village, erected uninvited on my property, was in disarray. Sticky torches knocked over a hot tub deserted, and their fantasies of suburban supremacy torn apart by 50 barking animals. I stood by my barn arms crossed, as Linda Harmon, HOA president and self-appointed queen of Pine Valley, stumbled over a folding chair, her monogram tumbler pouring wine onto the dirt. The signs that said private property were guarded by guard dogs on duty and weren't for show, and Linda had just found Jake's out. Why, my name's Jake Larson, and this is how I made an HOA invasion. A legend that brought a community to its knees. I purchased my 62-acre ranch for peace, the kind after 18-hour days in an auto shop, where the only news is wind through pines and coyotes at twilight, hidden between hills and a thick cedar thicket. It's got a spring-fed well, a barn, I fixed up myself, and a half-mile gravel road that gives you time to reconsider poor choices. Best of all, it's 400 yards beyond Pine Valley's HOA perimeter, free of their beige houses, prohibitions on unapproved shrubs, and mandatory potluck attendance. But freedom next to an HOA is a magnet for trouble, and Linda Harmon was trouble incarnate, life coach, part dictator, the type to report a kid's lemonade stand for unpermitted commerce. She rolled up my drive one morning in a silver hybrid, SUV clipboard in hand, fake smile blazing. "Hi, you must be the ranch guy. I'm Linda, Pine Valley Community in Richmond." I leaned on my fence post, silent. "We're hosting a leadership retreat, board members, county, HOA leaders, team building, even sunset goat yoga." She laughed like she'd invented fun. "We'd love to use your pasture. It's so pastoral." I stared. "This is private property?" She blinked. "Well, yes. But our board reviewed zoning, and since this isn't a subdivision, it's technically shared green space under our charter." I cut her off. "I own every acre. It's not shared, it's mine." Her smile tightened. "The board voted to include this land in our use plan. It's standard, the county's okay with it. We'll bring porta potties." I moved in closer. "No camping, anyone sets foot here, they're trespassing." Her pen scribbled furiously. "We'll see what the county has to say." This is covered by the Rural Use Pact. I knew then this was war over 2 weeks. HOA letters came signed by Linda or her lackey Greg Tanner, using bogus ordinances and community annexation rights. One fined me for neglecting shared field aesthetics. Another said they'd rezone my east pasture as temporary event space. I called the county, who laughed it off. Me title was ironclad, but Linda escalated drones. Buzz my fence. Black SUVs idled on the road. I caught 2 board members in fleece vests measuring my post with a surveyor's wheel. 60 seconds to leave, or I test my rifle scope. I said they bolted. I thought that had ended. I was wrong. I left for a weekend. Parts run for the co-op. Gone 2 days pulling in. Sunday evening, my headlights struck a banner. Pine Valley Leadership Retreat, Lead with Intention. 21 tents lined my pasture, in rows, tiki torches, casting a flickering light, a portable hot tub bubbling and jazz wafting from speakers, folding tables supported coolers and snacks, chairs ringed a fire pit. Linda, wearing a vest with Community Visionary written on it, sipped wine, laughing with her friends like this was her backyard. I parked, walked out, and whistled once, sharp and low. Nobody had a clue until the barking started. Deep, bone-shaking roars resonated from the barn. The hill. The cedars. 50 livestock guardian animals. Anatolians. Wonderful Great Pyrenees. Some Kangal mixes rose up like a whirlwind, trained defensive bred to drive away bears. They weren't present for Linda's yoga retreat. She paralyzed tumbler mid-sip as a board member yelled, overturning a grill. "What is that?" Linda screamed. "My dogs." I told them fire flicker shining off their tent poles on my land. The pack crested the hill, silent now moving as one eye's glowing. A woman screamed. A guy in a teal polo tripped, collapsing a tent. Linda pointed. "Call them off, this is assault." I crossed my arms. "They're patrolling their property, which you're trespassing on, violating County Code 7.2. Your board vote doesn't mean squat here." The dogs herded them toward the drive, a crescent of fur and muscle. "We have authority!" Linda screamed as a growl from a dog made a board member run for his life. "This ain't a resort, I told you. It's a ranch with federally registered watchdogs. Be thankful it's not the bulls. Greg made a desperate attempt to salvage the hot tub, butting it into a tent. Linda tripped wine on her vest. They ran climbing over fences, leaving equipment. I stood with my dogs, observing their flight, knowing Linda had just encountered the wrong adversary by Monday. Linda's propaganda machine growled an HOA email. Desperate feral dog attack resulted in 21 civic leaders being ambushed by rabid, unvaccinated dogs. She referred to my ranch as a militia compound and told residents to steer clear of my road flyers landed on every mailbox that had my lead. Kangal Titan marked danger. Rogue beast Linda complained to county code enforcement that I operated an illegal kennel and trained attack dogs. She demanded animal control to see my rabid predators. She was unaware I was prepared. My dogs weren't pets. They were certified through the National Livestock Guardian Alliance, associated with the USDA and Department of Agriculture. Everyone microchipped, vaccinated, and registered under my agricultural license. My property zoned for livestock. Since 1965 was off limits, I had records from the vet training logs, drone maps, and zoning documents in a binder fatter than a Bible. When the county inspector came, I produced it. Coffee before or after I bury this? I inquired. He saw my dogs lying quietly and the drone footage of Linda's crew trespassing nonsense. He grumbled, leaving animal controls. Officer, a buddy from hunting season. He caught sight of Titan, snatched a donut I offered, and said, "These are the best trained dogs I've seen. Linda's wasting my time." Linda turned to gossip, infusing the community app with posts about gun-toing dog hoarders. Signs sprang up, "Stop Canine Terror." One photoshopped Titan in a bandana captioned, "Suburban Threat. It hit the local store bulletin board. You letting this slide?" The clerk asked. "I'm digging their grave." I said I put together trail cam footage, Lindo prying my fence, Greg dumping trash board members sneaking onto my land. I included audio from hidden mics and drone shots of their litter wine bottles, tent stakes we lead with heart signs. I cut it with timestamps and banjo music, posting it online as Pine Valley HOA invades ranch regrets. It went viral. 3,000 views in 48 hours, posted on local forums and HOA horror groups. Comments cheered this guy's a legend. Send Titan treats. Linda fought back by filing a nuisance claim due to barking. I sent decibel readings confirming her fountain was noisier. She said, "My drones invaded privacy. I confirmed each shot was from my property or public roads." Then she went big by asking for a zoning change to cap my dogs at 3. I responded with the Agricultural Protection Act, supported by neighbor affidavit and vet letters. Her request expired in 72 hours, with a county threat of harassment charges. If she continued, Linda became petty hoe newsletters attached to rocks filled my gate. My mailbox was damaged. A sign exchanged mine for dog militia. HQ, I left it up, was cool, but things took a turn when I caught a board member on tape sneaking a tin of raw meat and blue powder through my barn window. Poison. I called the sheriff, who observed the footage and presented charges or let him squirm. I opted squirm, then forwarded the clip to news outlets. Pine Valley HOA poisons. Guard dogs. I sent Lindo a copy with a note done. Yet the flyer halted. The signs disappeared. The newsletter diminished for 3 weeks. Quiet. Then a dark SUV showed up, 2 men in knockoff security attire, one with a clipboard, one snapping pictures over my fence. Titan barked a noise like thunder, and 49 dogs accompanied the men. Panicked, one dropping his papers, the other falling into a ditch. They ran a lawsuit, followed alleging emotional distress and weaponized livestock. I laugh at. It was their funeral. What Linda didn't know was my ace. My dogs were National Livestock Guardian Alliance assets, some exporter patrol, other solar farm veterans. My land was a federal agricultural trust, meaning her lawsuit triggered USDA and DOJ scrutiny. My cousin Kate, a JAG trained lawyer, with the alliance referred to as, "They flagged your trust. We're investigating trespassing and incitement. Send the barn footage at Screams Gold." Kate's team issued cease and desists, subpoenaed HO records, and flagged Linda's home cameras as illegal surveillance. VHO's emergency meeting, live-streamed by Greg's nephew, revealed Linda ranting about rural terrorists and banning all dogs. Half the room left. The newsletter went blank. Just a legal note, HOA suspended pinning review. I framed it alongside Titan's picture, captioned "This country's single law." Linda made one last stand, a solidarity camp out on my disputed ground. 12 loyalists showed up in Save Pine Valley t-shirts with lanterns and a projector midnight. My dogs circled around them, silent, glaring, no barks, just an offering. A board member cried. Linda asked for extraction from a porta potty. By morning news trucks videotaped their withdrawal tents, abandoned a pillow. Quoting urge left in the mud, Linda was hiding in potty until Titan sat close, patient as stone. The broadcast, HOA camp out crumbles. Underdog's stare made Titan a star. The county fell apart. Pine Valley's HOA for flagrant abuse. Linda's name was placed on a federal watch list. No HOA would touch her. She relocated perhaps to a condo, perhaps to Oblivion Kids painted Titan's mural on the former HOA board. Captioned "Bark loudly when silent." I added a spotlight. My ranch is peaceful now. Dogs patrol wind humps, laughter carries on the road. Linda discovered some fences carry more than cattle.